Hi, my name is Bianca, and if you're new here, I upload weekly makeup videos, and I also like to dabble in fashion as well. So today I just really wanted to sit down and film this colorful look. I've just been really inspired by color lately, and if you would like to see how I achieved it, then please keep watching.
Perfect.
Okay, so starting off this look, I'm going to go ahead and line the outside of my eyelids with tape, and then I'm going to prime my eyelids with some concealer. I'm using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and I did realize that my eyebrows are super bushy, so I went ahead and plucked them off camera. Next, I'm going to be setting my eyelids with some translucent setting powder. I'm using the Pretty Vulgar Translucent Setting Powder. Then hopping right into eyeshadow, I'm taking the brightest pink shade in the James Charles and Morphe collab, and I'm going to start packing that on the outer corner of my eye and making it into kind of a pretty big V shape, and also stamping that up along into the middle of my crease. And right now I'm just placing the color, and later I will blend. Next, you see that I picked up the yellow shade in the same palette and started packing that along more on the inner crease and along that V as well. To really get the best pigment, I just keep building up that pink and building up that yellow, going back and forth, and then taking a fluffy brush, this is a MAC 227, and buffing that out. To get the pigment payoff that you want, the most satisfying part is taking off that tape, and you see a nice sharp line. Next, I'm taking the NYX Cosmetics. This is the Vivid eyeliner in the yellow shade, and I'm going to be lining the upper lash line of my eyes. And then I decided I wanted to put some glitter on the inner corners of my eyes, so I used my Duo eyelash glue, and then I stamp on some glitter on the inner corner of my eye. This is just a loose glitter that I picked up at Michael's. Popping on some false lashes, and then I'm also going to follow up with tight lining the inner rim of my eye as well. Any kohl liner will do. Putting my real and false lashes together, I'm using the Essence Princess Lash Mascara. And then next, moving on to the face, before I finish the eyes, I'm using a matte primer on my T-zone. And then next, I'll be following up with the Argan Oil Highlighting Liquid, and I'll place that on the tops of my cheekbones and then on my bridge of my nose. To finish priming, I'm setting and priming my face with the Catrice Prime and Fine setting spray. And for foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Matte Poreless foundation, and I'm placing dots all over my face and then blending that out with a Morphee Sponge. Like I mentioned in my last video, I really love doing this technique because I find that I put less foundation when I dot it all over my face, as opposed to doing each section one at a time. And of course, you always want to make sure you blend down your neck so there's no line of demarcation. And next, for concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. Cosmetics 16-hour concealer, and I'll be placing that in a V shape and blending that out with the Morphee Sponge again. You'll notice that I do one eye at a time. I just find when I do this as well that I get no creasing. So I put concealer underneath one eye and then I set and then I do the other eye. So I'm using the Pretty Vulgar Translucent powder and setting each eye separately, and then I'll go and set my entire face with the same powder. I also find when I set my face with a damp sponge using the translucent powder, it just really sets everything in place seamlessly, and it just makes your face look so nice and poreless and smooth. So I really love this technique as well. And then moving on to bronzer, I'm taking the Wonder Bronzer and I'm bronzing my cheeks, underneath my chin, and my forehead. Further chisel out my chin and my cheekbones, I'm taking the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette in the deepest shade. Another technique that I like to do differently is to place my highlight on first before placing my blush. I find when I do this, it really melts everything together and everything looks really nice and seamless, as opposed to like one big striped line highlight. And the highlight that I am using is a Wet n Wild highlight in the shade Blossom. And then here I'm just kind of contouring my nose a little bit using the Shade and Light palette again. And for blush, I'm taking the Hourglass Ambient Light Blush in Luminous Flush, and I'm just popping that on my cheekbones and a little bit on my nose as well. Now, finishing off the lower lash line, I am smudging the pink shade, the same pink shade that we used in our crease, along my lower lash line, and then I'm buffing it out using that same fluffy brush to make sure there's not a crazy harsh line and connecting the lower lash line to the top lash line. To bring in that yellow shade again, I'm just popping that on the lower lash line on the inner corner. Alright, and lastly for lips, I'm lining my lips with the MAC lip liner in the shade Spice, and then I'll be filling in with the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Baddest Beige. Okay, this is the final result, and I did add a little bit of white shimmer onto the inner corner of my eye, and then I touched up the yellow again underneath. So those are the only differences that I did off camera. And I did change into this one shoulder tank top and put some hair clips and earrings in. And I hope you enjoyed this look. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!